For the skybox, let's go ahead and go to our, I'm going to go ahead and roll up these folders here. Let's go ahead and go up to our assets and import package. We're going to use the ones that come with Unity. If you go down to the one that says skyboxes right there. So skybox in Unity, there's just a large cube surrounding the environment. And what it is these textures are just assigned to all the sides of them. We'll go ahead and import all of them. And they're going to import into the standard assets folder that we currently have right there. Alright, so now that they're in there, you'll see one that says skyboxes, and you'll see a handful of different ones. And when you create a skybox, you'll see that the shader type is render effects skybox. And inside of it, you're going to have all 6 of the planes that go inside to create all the different angles for it. And basically, we'll change it to a cube because you're essentially looking at just simply a cube inside of this scene. So let's go ahead and assign it to our scene. In order to assign it to the scene, you want to go to the Edit on the menu bar, down to where it says Render Settings. If you click on Render Settings, over on the inspector side, you'll see one that says Skybox Material. Go ahead and click on the little plus sign, the selection option, and then inside of here, what we'll do is we'll just move this over to the side, and you'll see the different skyboxes kind of scattered around here. Go ahead and click on the first one that says Eerie Skybox. Okay. And if you notice, you can click on all the other ones. Overcast, you can do the Moonshine, you can go down to the Overcast one here, you can go down to the Sunny, Sunny Skybox 2, and Sunny Skybox 1. So each one is going to give you a different feel, different mood and atmosphere and everything to it. One for this one might actually look kind of interesting. Let's see how the environment looks around here. This darker look, more like a nighttime feel, might actually look good. It does provide that it kind of blends with the rest of the environment, how it's currently going. So we'll stick with that one for now. Alright, so be sure just to choose which one you want to use for yours. And then there's also an option inside of here in render settings for fog. It's going to be a linear fog, so it's just simply going to be at a distance, so whatever distance you want and how close you want it to come to the camera. The type of fog we could do, if we did linear this way, then you're going to have more of that out in the distance. The fog color is going to be the fog color right here. Usually what you can do is, if you want the fog to be kind of accurate with the background, just use your eyedropper and click on a color from the background. So if I choose this one, for instance, let's see, we may want to go with a little bit more of a color here. There we go. Looks like we have to kind of pick it. So a little bit more of that tone. And then what that's going to do is just kind of help set things into the distance, especially if you're looking over a far area. That'll be kind of a nice benefit for it. Alright, so we'll stick with linear on this one. There we go. So that should kind of give you a good feel when you start walking in and up into the area. Okay. So that's going to be your skyboxes. Again, you can just drop them straight in there and you can start using them and having them for the environment. You'll have a nice feel to it. The next thing that we want to do is go back up to assets, and we're going to go to the import package. And inside of it, we're going to go down. There's 2 options. There's a water basic and a water pro. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and import both of the packages. And if you have the pro version, I'll show you what the pro version looks like. If you have the regular version, we'll show you what the basic one looks like. I'll go back up to assets and import package and go down and do the water pro if you have this one. If you're on the trial version of Unity Pro, then you can import the Pro features and take a look at those and view them as well. There we go. So now we have both water packages. If you notice, when you go inside them, the water has a daylight water and a nighttime water. Since I'm actually working on a nighttime scene, I'll take the water basic and I'll put it over here by our friendly sand and our beach over here. So if you notice, the nighttime water is going to be a little bit darker. If we just drag in our brighter one, so the daytime will be a little bit brighter this way. There we go. On the effects, go ahead and click on animated material. And I don't know if the water is animated. Okay, so animated, when it runs at runtime, it'll actually be moving. For the water, I'm just going to scale this one up. So we'll actually make this one kind of large so that it feels like it's from the standpoint of the viewer. We'll be able to see. Oh, that's actually. Here, we'll do it this way. There we go. So then when they come up and they're looking, they'll have that feel that it just kind of goes off into the distance there. Hopefully it'll be something like that. Alright, we'll go ahead and push play. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back into the scene and just show you what it looks like here. Is that on the basic version, you'll notice that you've got a water effect. You have the ripples, and the ripples actually just two material textures going opposite direction of each other. But it has a good feel to it. For this water, I'm going to hide this water, so I'm just going to turn off the game object. We'll drag in our nighttime water for the real-time one. I'll move this up just a little. So the real-time one, if you notice, has reflections. You can actually see the reflection of the moon right there in it. Alright. So now the reflection of the stars and everything go into this one. And then we'll move it out again to that corner. Actually scale it up just a little bit more. There we go. Alright. So we have our new post up there, supporting the object. The texture looks like it could actually be tiled a little bit better. And we've got our ocean water out there. And then we can go back up to the top, see if we can get almost a better view. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat here. And we're going to hop over to the water. There we go. So if you notice, the water has a nice reflection to it. But if you notice from the distance, at a distance, you can't even really tell what the water looks like. So if you're just trying to create if you're creating water from a farther point, doing it with just the basic one for performance wise is going to be great. There's no need to actually have to put in the pro version water on it. Alright, so we'll stop on that. We have our water in the scene. I'm going to go ahead and replace it. We'll just turn this one off, and we'll turn the other one back on. So now we have our water in the scene. We have our setup over here. We have all of our pieces. We've got our texturing. The only thing left to do on this one is to put some environment objects into it. And one of the things we'll do on this one, we'll just go to our assets again. We'll go down to import package. And there is one called Tree Creator. I'll go ahead and click on Tree Creator. And click on the import. This is going to import for us the Unity has a tree system that we're going to look at how to build a tree. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and just take a look at what the tree looks like and how we can use it. So on here we have inside of Tree Creator, inside of our standard assets, there's a tree, and there's one that's called Big Tree. You can left click and drag this one into the scene, and it's just going to snap at whatever height it can find. So we could place this, we can actually go down here and put a little tree over here on the side. Let's see if this is going to work for us, or if it's going to look a little odd. So it looks a little odd because it's not necessarily, it's kind of void of life intentionally over here. So let's just move this one. We'll move this back over here. How about we place it right in here where our player's starting, so he's coming out from what we could consider a forest. Now when you're working with this, if you notice, like with this tree when I dropped it in, do you see how the shadows, so I'm seeing leaves, but I'm seeing square blocks for the shadows. If you click on your tree, the tree that they give you by default is a optimized bark and an optimized leaf material. If you want, over in the tree, on the tree options over here, let's see, we'll probably find them in sources and materials. There's a big tree leaves. If you just drag that one over to the optimized leaf material, then you're going to get, instead of blocks, you're actually going to get the tree leaves with the shadows. And the tree leaf options, they're going to have more options here. You can go through and you can change stuff up on it. But for now, we'll just stick with what we've got on that one. So how about we put one more tree in here? We'll just make a copy of this one. So Control D, make a copy. Let's put another tree right there. Let's see how it's going to feel for the player when they're coming through. And we'll put one more on the other side right here. So if we were going from a level, we could say that he's just now coming out of a forest and he's making his way towards the island. And if we were to look back behind us, and the idea would be that it would just kind of fill with a whole thing of trees and kind of lush green and everything. Alright. So for the basic elements of objects, we have everything placed in the scene that we're going to put into the scene. We have a path for the player to walk through and a kind of an objective to get to the top here. The last thing that we'll do, we'll take a look at setting in some more lights, setting in some particle effects, kind of livening it up that way.